Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagatgurum. So last week we studied the example of a turtle, that how he withdraws his limbs when there is a danger. So in that way, there is an example, of course, that a person who is on the path of spirituality, or one who has attained that state of mind, he withdraws himself. This is a very practical then philosophical idea. You don't need to jump into the problems. You don't need to jump to resolve the problems. To protect yourself, to save yourself, or to help others, what we know is that we jump into the situation. And this withdrawal is not out of fear. This withdrawal is out of wisdom. That the objects could be a thing, could be a person, could be a place, could be a situation. The object is here to distract you or to bring you down then the state of your mind. So you withdraw. There is a very interesting devotional song where it says that you learn how to be dumb. What is the meaning of becoming dumb? Dumb is one who doesn't react. You have to be dumb to whom? When the objects of this world by nature are trying to make you extrovert, the objects creates desires in your mind. The easiest way is not to refuse the object, but to withdraw yourself. For example, if there is something which I do not want to see, it is difficult for me to take the things and throw, or to tell person to go away or something. It is better to close eyes. Withdrawal from this point of view is not out of hatred. The objects which you think makes you extrovert, first you withdraw yourself from that. Means you become disinterested in that. You come to know about this when you start doing that. Then you will find some objects I can easily do that, but some objects which I cannot. And you have 10 reasons to say that. The object with whom you are attached, who has become part of your life and the necessity of your life. You know it makes me extrovert. You know that it doesn't allow me to be in myself. But you are not able to renounce. In Patanjali Yoga Sutra, these are very, very fine way are classified. You are so attached that you are not able to renounce. Not renouncing the object only, renouncing your state of mind, you are so attached to it that you do not want to progress and go higher. If I get 60% marks and I am satisfied with it, I will never try for 65. So in spiritual life also, where am I now? I must have utter dissatisfaction with that. Then only I will try to achieve something higher. It is not achieving anything worldly, it is achieving my state of mind. So, this sloka we were discussing, as the turtle withdraws his limbs. This example is only to show the withdrawal, nothing to do with turtle. In that way, this person withdraws his senses from the sense objects. If something which is disturbing for me, I give a funny example. It is good to give my own example than to give somebody's example. When I came in 2001, 2002, we used to have about 40 boys in the boys' home. All of them used to come to temple. So the Swamis will sit at the end because 40 boys will occupy space and it's okay. Then during Aarti time we all stand and the boys will be doing like this, something nuisance they will do. And I used to get irritated by that. Aarti is going on. If I get disturbed, so I will go and correct them. That will disturb 10 more people. After a long time, I understood this. When Aarti goes on, you close your eyes. Nothing dangerous is going to happen. It is out of their nature, they keep on playing. It's not good to play, I know that. But that I can tell them after that. After the prayer. Not while, because if I do that, I will lose the chance of being in the prayer. So I started that. All the boys are doing whatever, I close my eyes and do like this. I'm not avoiding my duty, I know what's going on outside, but I don't want to get disturbed by that. Then we started. Okay, one supervisor will sit and he will keep, his duty is to be extroverted. So, oh, he did like this. Then we call, no, Swamiji, today he was doing this. Hey, come here, sir. Why we talk? Idea is not that. Idea is withdrawal. This withdrawal is a very, very, very important aspect of our spiritual life, which in Patanjali Yoga Sutra it is known as Pratyahara. And Pratyahara is very important quality of a person who wants to walk on the path of yoga, walk on the path of spirituality. You should know where you should withdraw. Some objects are too big for you to face them. Withdraw. In English there is a proverb. Apparently you are accepting the defeat. Apparently. I am ready to lose the battle because my war is something different. My war is to trying to go higher, better. Why should I fight with this person or that person or this object or that object? You are defeated, okay, accept it. My purpose is not to win over the object. My purpose is to ascend to the next level of my mind. So apparently looks as if you are defeated with the objects. You withdraw. People say withdrawal is out of fear you do not. Intelligently you withdraw. if any one of you have experienced to go to a sea where big waves are there, and when you go to take bath in the sea, waves are big enough to throw you down. So what they say, the wave is quite big, 1 meter, 1.5 meter, like these waves. It's a foolishness to stand in front of that wave. When the wave comes, sit down, the wave will go, and then you get up and take bath. What is the fun in telling, I don't want to be defeated by the wave? No. The wave is not going to change its nature. Your purpose is not to face or fight with the wave. Your purpose is to take bath. So, if the goal is clear in my mind, then only you can decide the strategy in your life. Spiritual point of view. People struggle so much in their life, even in practical sense also, because they do not know where to withdraw. Where to withdraw? You are fighting a case for a property worth of X amount, but when you come to know that my lawyer's fees is higher than the cost of that property, is it not good to withdraw and not spend that money? What the fun? No. Then your ego is, I must acquire that house. I'm ready to spend more money. This is your foolishness. Money saved is money earned. So where to withdraw? Your ego will never allow you to withdraw. In many places good to withdraw. Many places good to keep quiet, not to answer. When necessary you answer, when you are supposed to. Shankaracharya writes, Dustarka suviramyatam shrutimata tarkonusandhiyatam. Don't ever argue with fools. Why you should waste your time in arguing with fools? You argue with a higher purpose, according to the scriptures. You want to achieve something good out of that. So you ask questions and argue, no problem. Don't argue with the fools. Many times when people say, okay. Then they will go out, oh, even Swamiji, accept my view. Swamiji, no need to fight with you and reject or quarrel or anything. Okay, you are good, you are great. Many times when we see this kind of situations arise, when you really become like a small cow, I say, I really do not know what you are asking, brother. Absolutely beyond my conception. Maybe I am not very well read. Maybe I do not know that. They say, oh, you do not know. Okay. And he goes away. Better. Withdrawing. No need to fight, no need to quarrel, no need to argue with fools. Those who are really inquirer of truth, real jigyasa is there, real questions are there, sincerity is there, spend time with them, because eventually both of you will get something out of your conversation. So, here Sri Krishna has told this, that indriyani, indriya arthebhya. Indriya artha is, eyes are the sense or the indriya, and the object which you see is the indriya artha. Artha is not always the meaning. Artha is also purpose. What is the purpose of the eye? Is to see. What you see the object. A place, person, article, whatever. When my eyes are open, I should be able to see you. My eyes are open. My eyes have a capacity to see. The object, the person also is in front of me, but mind is absent. Even if my eyes are open, I won't be able to see. Many times it will happen. While sitting here, if your mind thinks something, you miss what he told in the last 2 minutes. You are sitting here, your ears are open, but you can't hear because your mind is not present. So a simple teaching, if you want to give to any child, don't give him philosophy, he can't understand. Simple thing, keep your mind where you are. Finish. Playtime, remember, oh, I have so much homework to do. Homework time, play. So playing time, homework time, playing. No. If you are playing, forget study. Play nicely. While eating, eat. No need to watch mobile phone. Nowadays, some families have started doing this. Come to the dining hall, put your mobile phone there. Family goes for a dinner, all the members are with mobile phone. Then why you come out and spend money to have a dinner? Something like that. So, be where your body is. Other things can be done later. So, mind should be where you are. That's a simple way of starting what concentration is all about. So, this person who is established or realized, etc., he has this quality of withdrawal. Then he discusses very important concept. The objects which you think they are harmful to you. So it's okay, I don't take it. For example, I came to know that I have diabetes. So what I do, no sweets, keep it aside, I don't take, because I have diabetes. Does it mean that I don't want to eat sweets? Sweets I can remove. Don't bring sweets in front of me. But my desire to eat sweets doesn't die. Put this in every field. Put this in every object of enjoyment. You can renounce it. Object can be renounced easily. But your taste for it, your interest in it, is difficult to renounce. That goes only in time when you progress. Then it is called sublimation of desire. Now you suppress your desire. No sweets. Sweets only you can remove, not the desire to eat the sweets. The desire to eat sweets will go in time when your mind slowly accepts this fact. You don't hate the sweets. You don't need to show that I want to eat but I cannot eat, so remove it. No. Even if sweets are in front, it will not attract you. When your mind is convinced, when that much control over your senses comes, that's why we say, in the modern time, earlier this language was different. The spiritual language was little different. Nowadays it's different. Earlier, this type of words were used. You have to control your senses, you have to control your mind. You should renounce this, you should not do this. In scriptures you will find. Renounce like as you would have renounced poison. Like this you renounce. Objects of enjoyment should be renounced like a poison. Now we use different language because we know it's not possible. It's not possible. So you say, just be aware how much it is giving enjoyment, how much it is harmful to you. Eventually you lose or gain. So that is called management of the objects. You manage it. Controlling is different thing. We have stopped using the word abstain from this. We don't say. I don't say to myself also. Forget about telling others. Abstain from this. I know you cannot abstain. Reduce. Think. Do the how much you gain, how much you lose. What is the fruit of that? Eventually what? I give an example which we can speak, remaining all you can interpret in your way. Information is there that I have diabetes. I have diabetes, sorry. But my mind doesn't accept that. Information is there. Conviction is not there. So I eat the sweets. Then I suffer. Then I must be intelligent enough to compare between the happiness which I got out of eating and the suffering which I got because of that. If the suffering is too much because of this little enjoyment, it is better to sacrifice that small enjoyment and protect yourself from this big suffering. In the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, initial pages itself, Sri Ramakrishna says one word called vichara. Think. Always think. As soon as you get pain, as soon as you get frustration, think, why do I get it? Generally people put blame on the objects. I tell a real incident. I knew a young man, good person, religious minded, comes from village. So in his village, a monk used to stay. And you see, as we talk, the monks also says the same thing about scriptures and Bhagavad Gita and others. And village person, very simpleton. So not many censors are there in his speech. So he went to the monk and told that I have come to know this. I am not able to progress spiritually because of my wife. Because I have to stay with her, and because of that I am not able to progress. He's a village man, so he expressed in his way. But that monk was a monk eventually. He said, where is your wife? She is at home. No, where she is? Do you think she is outside you? She is inside you. It is you who has issues, not your wife. It's the same thing. Wife complains about husband, husband complains about children, children complains about whatever you complain about any object of this world. Problem is with the person. Problem is not with the object. Problem is not with the other person. There is one simple truth. Keep aside the now which is prevalent and people want to use this word. We keep aside for a while the third gender. But either a boy is born or a girl is born. Correct? Then somebody will say, hey, he is my son. Other person will say, he is my nephew. The boy is just born. Other old man will come and say, he is my grandson. Other will come and say, he is my cousin brother. How one boy, as soon as he is born, he became cousin brother, son, grandson, nephew, everything he became immediately. He doesn't become anything. With respect to these people, people address him as that. That's why they all are relatives. He is my uncle. In relation to, he is my uncle. So, we twist the word relative. They are all relatives. You are the absolute. You are not relative. So if a person is there, she is wife to someone, she is mother to someone, she is sister to someone, she could be granddaughter to someone, she could be anything. So many relations are there. It is you who is considering her in particular way, not everybody. So in that respect you say she is a problem or he is a problem, whichever way you want to put it. Spiritual life, the first thing we need to understand, spiritual life is subjective. It is not objective. It's a subjective life. You need to improve yourself. It has nothing to do with anybody around you. It has nothing to do with the nature, atmosphere. We had a Swami who was here. He was our teacher, Acharya. It was a very funny way he used to teach us. In summer it is so hot that I cannot meditate. Perspiring. In Calcutta you perspire. Sitting you perspire. In winter it is so cold I cannot meditate. In monsoon all the worms and everything comes out, ants and everything come out, how to meditate? So he used to say, so for your meditation God should create another season, isn't it? Spiritual life is subjective. Those who are good in one thing are good in everything. According to the subject, of course. Those who can study well, even secular book, if one can study religious book also well, because it is the mind who is trained to study. Sri Ramakrishna in his way, he says, one who can keep an account of salt can keep account of sugar also. Oh no, sugar is expensive, I cannot keep that account. No. Account has nothing to do with sugar and salt. If you can do this, you can do this also. So, the same mind who meditates is the same mind who does work. A simple incident, but it describes a big aspect. In our headquarters where 400, 500 people stay, so cooking is done. So many times monks and novice brahmacharis, our duty is to peel the potatoes and help in the kitchen and all that. So one of the disciples of Sri Ramakrishna Swami, Premanandji, he called some young boys, brahmacharis who has just joined the order. Here are some potatoes, peel it. You take 10 potatoes and sit beside and peel it. So everybody peeled their own share. Then he took the pills and checked and says, he meditated well today morning. So what potato has to do with his meditation? No, the peeling shows how he has done work. The same mind has done work, and same mind went and meditated. Minds are not two. Mind is only one. If you can do that well, then only you can do that other things well. So idea is that let us not blame the objects. Objects I do not mean in insulting way. Anything which is perceived by you, dealt by you, is an object. Person could be an object. Things can be an object. A book can be an object. A camera can be an object. A chair can be an object. Anything can be an object. That which is an object of perception that we are telling, object. Let us not blame the objects. You need to improve subjectivity. Then only the question of progress comes. So one who is established in spiritual life, so Krishna says here, Vishaya vinivartan. Objects comes and goes. Niraharasya dehina one who renounces the object is out. In the famous one story, two monks were walking on a bank of a river. It's a story only. Suddenly they found that in the river somebody is not able to swim and sinking. So, please save me, please save me. So both the monks look at, and they found a young girl is there who is sinking. From somewhere in the current she came. So the young monk jumped in the river and brought the girl out. The girl went away. Vishaya Vinivartante. Then the senior monk started, what kind of monk you are? You are not supposed to touch a woman. You have carried that woman on your shoulder, and went on scolding to him. So after 10 minutes of scolding, the young monk says, I dropped that woman from my shoulder 10 minutes before you are still carrying her. The purpose was very different. The purpose was a noble purpose, to save someone. He did not do anything wrong. Yes, he crossed the limit in technical terms, but both of them knew that the purpose was a very noble purpose. We do not have, for example, we do not have any situation where you have to hold hand of anybody, any lady devotee. Once I was climbing the steps, just that side, where the ramp is lift side, 2 steps are there. One very elderly devotee, she must be, she's in her 80s now, she must be in her 70s then. Suddenly she missed the step. What do you want me to do? I wanted to hold both her hands. Oh, thank you, Swami. Do you think I broke the rule? No, I did not. So we have to understand this. So says, Vishya Vinivartante Niraharasya Dehina. Even if you renounce the object, Rasavarjam Rasopiyasya. That rasa, if you are attached to that object, object can be renounced easily, not your interest in the object. And that all the spiritual seekers understand this. You renounce, it's not a big deal. For example, you are a smoker and you decided from today I will not smoke. So all the cigarettes you threw away, match or lighter, everything you threw away. That could be easy. But then a time came when you are dying to smoke. To control or to counteract that interest is more difficult than to renounce the cigarette physically. That will take little time. That sublimation of that instinct or desire, it will take some time. So there are ways to do it. And people have invented new ways. In our counseling center, if you go, and the whole country will have a smoking cessation program. And they train. Slowly you do. Some people have willpower. I remember one gentleman. He is one person whom I respect so much. Elderly man. Now he is in 90s. Once upon a time he was a chain smoker. Chain smoker, one after another. They don't use matchstick or lighter. Cigarette, with cigarette, another cigarette. Continuous. That's called chain smoker. At that time there was a company called Capstan. And Capstan used to have an aluminium container where 24 to 30 cigarettes will be there. Big dabba. So he will have one here, one pocket, another this pocket. Working in Accountant General's office. So everybody knew him. That he will take one after another. But a very simpleton man, very simpleton. I many times say that a householder can be so guileless and so simple without any crookedness. I have seen very few. And he is one of them. Sanskrit scholar, perfect gentleman, but had this habit of smoking. So he went to the doctor, and the doctor says, "Sir, you have to leave smoking." So he says, he was very simple to show me. He says, "I put my two hands in my two pockets, took out the cigarette and threw in the dustbin in front of the doctor, and never touched cigarette in my life again." Like this, renounced. But addicted, but renounced. Willpower. So, that he could do because he renounced cigarette also, and he renounced his rasa or his attachment to cigarette also. That to renounce attachment is more difficult than to renounce cigarette. Same thing with all objects. All objects. So, if you want to progress, that interest has to die. That will take time sometime, and that's why our progress is slower. Many people say, "I don't see after so many years I am progressing." You are progressing, but progress is very slow, which is difficult to measure many times. I went to Malaysia once, so one devotee whom I know, he was so sincere that he literally cried and says, "I am failing so much everywhere, I cannot do this in spiritual life." So my way of telling is like this. Repeat again. "No, I fail everywhere, I am not able to do this." That's very good. So all his tears dried up. How in the world you tell it is very good? It is very good because you are trying, that's why you are failing. People who do not try, they have no experience of failing also. So if you fail, that means at least you are striving. And that person who is striving has a chance to success, chance to succeed. One who doesn't try at all may not have experienced failure, but there is no chance for him to experience success also. So our progress is very slow. It depends upon your effort, it depends upon your willpower. Of course, grace of God, grace of Guru is always there. But what you can do is to put effort. And believe me, there are very few people who are ready to put effort. People think spiritual life also is very casual. It's not casual. Years after years, decades after decades, you will not see any progress. Because your effort is not that extraordinary. And you don't need to compare yourself with others. Compare yourself. What effort I put to earn money, what effort I put to keep my relations intact, what effort I put to keep my name in the society well. All this effort I put. Compared to that, how much effort I am putting in spiritual life to purify my mind, to do as the Guru, as the scriptures have told me to do. Then you complain. After putting effort, you complain that I am not progressing. Swami Brahmanandaji, the disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, used to say, people take initiation, do not want to do japa. In his statement he says, I am telling you, do every day 10 to 20,000 japa, and nothing happens to you, come and slap me. Up to that extent he says. But people do not want to put effort. Another disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Turiyanandaji, he, in a young age, when he came to Sri Ramakrishna, he saw there was one Hatha Yogi staying in Dakshineshwar and teaching yogasanas and many other things. And here was Sri Ramakrishna, was telling his way, the spiritual life. So Turiyanandaji as a young boy went and asked Sri Ramakrishna how to control desires. So Sri Ramakrishna, take the name of God. So he was very disappointed, young man. Just take the name of God. People are taking name of God everywhere. Do you think everybody control God? I better go to the yogi, Hatha Yogi. He will teach me something. Later on he says, after many years I came to know what Ramakrishna told was correct. Only people don't have patience to practice it. So, this is one concept, that object you can renounce, but your interest in that object doesn't go. That will go only when you get maturity. In a way, here is a param drashtva nivartate. There are many things which will be there with you till you have a body. It's not easy. Nobody in the world is that way free from any of these things. Only percentage is lower or higher. Do you think it is easy to renounce lust completely? No. Do you think it is easy to renounce greed completely? No. Then what will happen? If we cannot do, then what's the meaning? No. You live your life in such a way that those desires will not raise their hood to disturb you. Somewhere withdraw, somewhere facing it, somewhere renouncing it, somewhere adjustment with it. But it's up to you, because your goal should be clear. Then only it can happen. So, putting effort, and once you realize, the more you go towards the realization, the more you will feel that you are free from these limitations of the sense objects. Nobody is free. Nobody can be 100% free. Till the day you will die, if you cannot eat with mouth, they will feed you through nose. But food must go to your body, if not it will be saline. To sustain your body, you need food. You also need food. Sri Ramakrishna also needed food. Because that is the requirement of the body. But then we mix up the mind with it. No particular food. Then the problem. Then the desires come. In the same way, everything. So idea is this, that initially it looks like suppression. You keep it suppressed, but with your intense spiritual practice, slowly you don't need to suppress, it will sublimate by itself. But don't be so secure, don't be so sure, don't be so carefree, like now I have control, now I have done. No, you are not. And our books are full of the examples. Society is full of examples. Never ever say that you have controlled your senses. Because full control is impossible until you realize the truth. That's why here say, Rasavardham rasopyasya param drashtva nivartate. Until you realize that you are Atman. I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, I am Atman. That realization, then only question comes. Then also Sri Ramakrishna says, even if a person is a realized soul, also must practice this. Because you realize still you are in the body, your body consciousness doesn't go. Then you say this is a requirement of the body. And mind can play games. Mind can play games. So, to be aware about your life is important. As other day I was telling, the next concept which Sri Krishna discusses is very, 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 how to say, very practical. Today only one Swamiji sent me one shloka that fire gets an enemy. If little is left, it will again increase. You say your house caught fire. 90% fire is, only 10% is still burning. No, nothing should burn, because 10% will become 100% within short time. Your debts, you have to get rid of your debts if you have. You think, no, it is now only little. Strive till it becomes zero. Because again the interest and compound interest, and you will be never able to be free. I am not good in that, but I have seen few people, or some people in a way. A modern way of life, it is none of my business to talk this, but since the topic came, I am telling. Most of you are using credit card. Be very careful about it. I have seen people sink. I have seen people suffer. People do not know. The world is there to allure you. Pay $1 and take the car home. Next month they will come, sir, 1,500 installment. It's not the cost of the car is $1. All of you, you know, I'm not telling you, you know everything better than me. I have never used credit card in my life. But to be aware about it, the question comes from debts. All these small letters, terms and conditions which you do not see and click, here everything, all Ramayana is written there. If you do not pay in time, how much? 25, 28, 30% you pay interest. The bank will give you this much interest, to them you pay this much interest. So be a little careful. Anyway, so this aspect Krishna is discussing after this one is that the senses, the indriyas, are so powerful. People do not know. That's why apparently we all are happy. But once you know, it forces. In Durga Saptasati or Chandi, there is one sloka. Let me remember if I can. Says that. What is this sloka? Baladakrishya mohaya mahamaya prayachati. Anyway, previous line I am forgetting. That Jnaninaamapi chetansi Devi Bhagavati hisa Baladakrishya mohaya mahamaya prayachati. The great Maya, mother's power, Jnaninaamapi chetansi, forget about the ordinary man, man of knowledge, man of wisdom. She allures the mind with the help of sense objects and take that mind and throw in the mud of samsara. Prayachati is throw. Baladakrishya. The poor fellow was meditating somewhere in Rishikesh, Himalaya somewhere. One thought came in his mind. The thought slowly becomes so powerful. He left his seat, left Rishikesh, left his monastic life and started something. Just because of one thought. You say how it is possible. This happens in everybody's life. You may not be aware about it. So, that concept will come. So he says, Yatato yapi kaunteya purushasya vipaschitaha indriyani pramathini haranti prasavam manana. The organs of the senses violently snatch your mind. Same thing what that earlier shloka which I taught. Of even an intelligent person, even while he is striving diligently, even if he is striving in his spiritual life, little here and there, you lose everything. It is something like, in the circus, on the rope, somebody will be walking with a big bamboo or something in his hand to keep balance. It's not question whether you lose little balance or more balance. Little, whatever little you fall. perfect equilibrium, perfect balance, 100%. You know, all of you who have taken driving license in Singapore, out of 50 questions, 48 questions must be replied correctly. But if you are pilot, 100 out of 100 should be. One answer wrong, you are disqualified. Because you are going to take 100, 200, 300 people with you. Once I dropped one plane, what? Then it said zero. You cannot. So, here he says that the senses are so powerful. Your eyes, what is the Sanskrit name for eye?
Chakshu.
Another?
Netra.
Another? Generally, boy's name is that. Nayan. This is called Nayan. Why Nayan? Naya is to take, to carry and take away. Naya means you carry and take. Your eyes are the first, eyes and ears are the two senses which carry your mind faster than any other senses. You are meditating, open, saw something, immediately your mind went away. One small remembrance of an object, your mind goes away from here. That's why it's called Nayan. That which takes away. Who takes away what? Takes away your mind. So eyes and ears have a capacity to take your mind away from where you want to fix. That's why when you will go to temple now, what will happen? We say it was funny here. When you go to temple, there is a carpet to sit. It is not pinching, correct? So your seat is taken care. Then there is aircon. So temperature taken care. It is not perspiring or this and that. Then there is more or less beautiful decoration. So eyes are taken place. Some music. So ears are taken. All the five senses are taken care. So that your mind can meditate. With that your mind goes away. So powerful is the mind. That's why it is said that these senses are powerful enough to take your mind from where you are and take anywhere. Suddenly somebody remembers, oh, my son stays in America. He thought I have to buy something from Mustafa. His mind goes something at home. But sitting in Ramakrishna Mission, but somebody's mind is in America, somebody's mind in Mustafa, somebody's mind at home. That powerful it is. So why this discussion is so that concentration is required, that 100% dedication is required. So that another concept, that one thought how it can change the course of, and Sri Krishna is the biggest psychologist, I will tell you. One of our Swami has written over it, and he told his deal. It's a, how to say, what is the word for it? How a mind gets degraded, step by step, Sri Krishna explains. We'll take it next. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.